You keep surprising us. Not only have you already breached the first level of the Abyss, but your confidence is at an all-time high. Keep this up, and you may yet stop what's to come.
Alright folks, we're back once again after defeating Dan in the last episode, which to me is still absolutely incredible, by the way. I can't believe we did that. But yeah, if you didn't watch the last episode, go back and do it. We had a remote duel for the first time in years. It was fun. For this episode, though, we have 31 bucks to spend on cardboard, and I've got a deal for you, buddy. We have picked ourselves up 4 packs of Duelist Nexus for a reason we'll go over in just a bit, 3 packs of the Anniversary Collection, because we do need more staples from these, and a whole array of packs of Maze of Millennia. We have 9 of them total. We've spent everything in our budget to get these bad boys. We're going to start with the Maze of Millennia because we are still after finding the Earthbound pieces. Even though we now have colorless, it's kind of fine, but we would like to see the rest. So let's go. We got Millennium Revelation. We've got Satellite Synchron. The Chimera thing. Ogama. Triangle O. Oh, we got Geogremlin. This is one of the synchros that we're going to need for the Earthbound Immortal deck. Essentially, this lets us fuse during the battle phase, as well as target a card to either pop it or gain life points. It's okay. Yes! Oh, that's so good! This is Harmonic Synchrofusion. This is the only Ultra that we needed from this entire set. Harmonic Synchrofusion lets us at the same time Synchro Summon 1 monster and Fuse 1 monster using 2 materials on the field. This is the main card that the Earthbound Immortals actually use to do anything, and we have a copy of it. That is awesome. The only thing we need now is we need to actually find the pieces, and we can start using this. That is so fucking good, it's incredible. Holy shit, I was actually afraid we weren't gonna pull one of those. That's so good, though! Okay, please now, the rest of the cards we need are, like, rares. Horned Saurus is not one of the rares. Neither is Ring Announcer, or Extinguish, or Doppel Warrior, or Alert, and Altergeist Protocol. We got another Ashoka Pillar, I don't care. You know what? I'm just gonna go in here real quick. I'm gonna do that. There we go. Those cards we actually need. That's great. We'll keep diving into another pack of Maze. We're still looking for the main Earthbound Immortal cards. We really, really need those. Come on. We got Supreme Rage. The freaking Gazelle. Not one of the ones that we want. Sun God Unification. Extinguish. An Altergeist Prime Banshee. Oh, a Hydrant. This card is still like a couple of dollars, actually. I wanted to build Rescue Ace at some point. I don't mind having that. It's not for this deck, obviously, but it's there. Right, let's dive into Duelist Nexus. There are actually 2 cards in this that are very useful for us. One of them being Dark Corridor, unfortunately a secret rare, but it is the best searcher card that Dark Worlds have ever gotten. It is perfect, and we can also find Revolution Synchron. While not necessarily the best card in the universe, it does allow us to do quite a lot of things if we find it. Problem is, they're both secret rares. We'll go for Synchro World, Nemleria Dream Devourer, Synchro Overtop, some Doomstar card. We got a Banishing Trap Hole as a super, which I don't care about. Shirley, Blade Dragon, Stardust Worm, and Small Scuffle. Unfortunate. We'll go for one more of these. We're looking for a secret rare, so it's not exactly the best thing in the universe, but... Over-Exaggeration, the Cuckoo Commander to Kroon. We got Preventer, another Rescue Ace card. Granosaurus Giga Cannon. Infernal Knight Ricadetto, which is useless to us. Storage Pod, Pseudomosaurus Diabolica, and a Super Heavy Samurai Security. Not really the greatest from that pack, so let's just open a rarity collection, because you know what? I like to vary my pack openings. I also just fucked up the tab on this one really badly. So let's not do that. Let's go to the rarity collection. Give us some hand traps. That's Galaxy Ice Photon Armor Dragon. Technically this uses 3 level 8 monsters, so we could play this, but I doubt we'll ever do it. Abyss Dragon is useless to us. Decode Talker Heat Soul is a cool card, which we could not summon because we don't have Cyberus monsters. We got Rota, which is useless to us, and Artemis the Magistus Moon Maiden, which is a good card in Invoked and pretty much nowhere else. That's unfortunate. Let's go back to Maze. Maze hasn't punished us that much yet. Come on, Maze, I believe in you. Salamandra Fusion, Totem Pole. Earthbound Geoglyph is not one that we want. Cyclone. Linewalker is still not one of the ones that we want. Alert. Yeah! We got one of them. We got a Stone Sweeper. Stone Sweeper is the card that we are going to want to summon off of the level 1 because this... It essentially searches any Fiend Tuner in the deck also from your hand. It's just very, very good. We want 3 of those if we can. That's awesome. So we got 1 of them. 2 more of those, please. Alright. Desynchro. Combat Wheel. A Marionetter. Reinforce. Another 100 Eyes Dragon. Dark Rebellion. And a Bunbuku. No. I think we're gonna take a chance here. Let's go into Duelist Nexus. Because we got Wheel Synchron, Veda Celadonna, Cornfield Colloidal, that'd be cool to use. Reviel. Oh my god, we got an E-Pearly Noir. That's kind of nice. We got a Pearly card. I don't think it's worth anything, but like it's there. That's an Ultra, and a bunch of other stuff we don't need. I don't think the Noir is literally worth anything, but like it's cool. No, they're gonna be a good deck coming in soon, so why not? Anyway, we got a Rarity Collection. We got another Flare Metal. Eldritch the Golden Boy. I can't believe it was reprinted again. Fallen of Malvas in secret. Don't really care. Yeah, baby! Second copy of Evenly. That's so good. And may you rest in peace. You did not deserve the ban list. You did absolutely nothing wrong. Son of a gun. Why the hell did they hit Savage Dragon anyway? I can understand Baron, but why our boy? Anyway, we got another Geo Gremlin. We don't need 2, but having one is nice, I guess. Hextisha, we got Yonta, Ogama, Baphomet, Crystal Zero Lancer, Armored Exceed, which we do not use. We're running a little bit loose here. We got a couple of the pieces that we really wanted to see, but we don't have enough to actually play it as a goddamn engine yet, which is unfortunate. We got a 100 Eyes Dragon, Prime Banshee. Here's a Linewalker. We now have 1 of each. Linewalker searches us Harmonic Synchrofusion and is one of the last pieces we need. Infinity, Rescue, Rebellion, and a Turbulence. More Rescue Ace cards. Don't really need those, but you know, I will take it. Rescue Ace is still a cool deck. Let's go again. Away they go. We got Askapisku, the Totem Pole. I just punched the camera, I apologize. Combat Wheel. On Ice. Flame Swords Dance. Another Groundkeeper, thank God. And really? Really? Fuck off! This is a fucking, what is it? It's not an ulti, it's the other one. A QCR multi-faker? I think that's what it is. Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This isn't worth anything. Why'd you have to give me I have never opened one of these. Why the hell does it have to be now? Holy shit. Fine, here is a QCR multi-faker. I didn't fucking believe that this card was real, but hey, look at me go. I forgot this set even had QCRs. That's depressing and also really cool. What the hell, man? Who plays Altergeist? Come on. Alright, Reinforce. Fighting Flame Dragon. Another Geokraken, even though we don't need it. Hornsaurus. Jet Synchron's funny. Revelation. Yes! Son of a bitch, we got another Stone Sweeper. We can kind of play the engine. We can't really play it well, but we can play it. Dude, we're getting somewhere. Alright, last pack of this now. Ray Lancer, another Jet Synchron, Mirage Swordsman, Gate Zero, Cyclone, Rescue, and an Armored Exceed. We can work with this. That's all I care about. Let's go Duelist Nexus. God, what am I gonna do with the fucking QCR? What am I supposed to do with that? Really cool, but like, come on, man. Elisar Leos, Realm Resonance, Doomstar Olka, Giga Cannon. We got a Vanadium Torrid, which means we are getting nothing useful in this one. Unfortunate. Last pack then. We got another anniversary one right up to bat. What do we need in here? We need hand traps, infinite impermanences, things like that. There's a second copy of Dark Ruler No More, which is okay. Pot of Desires that we're never going to use. A Blackwing Simone the Poison Wind. Another Alpha. And a D-Barrier. D-Barrier is playable. We could possibly use that. But honestly, like, this is This is not a half bad opening, I'm gonna be honest. Simply because, obviously these are just kind of side deck cards, we don't really care. But we did manage to get ourselves at least one of each here, and we actually managed to get 2 Stone Sweepers, which is awesome. And with the extra Groundkeeper that we have laying around, it is playable. It's not the best, necessarily, but it is playable, and that's all that matters. We also gain access to Gremlina and Harmonic Synchrofusion. So this engine is now officially live, even though it's not in its greatest form. We can use it, and that's all that matters. And then we got QCR Multifaker, I guess. Man.
Hey there, viewers. We've got a ton of changes lined up for the deck today, so let's waste no time getting through them. Most notably, the deck now includes the new Earthbound engine, allowing Wolfie to synchro summon, although in a very basic form. Right now, we don't have that many great targets, but in some extremely good hands, it can actually produce another negation, a beat stick, or sometimes both. Wolfie also changed the side deck around a little bit, mostly to use the new copies of staples he picked up. We also have to bring up another mechanic that hasn't been explained yet, Wolfie's level. You may have noticed last episode that he's had a level up pending. When Wolfie escapes from the abyss, he will level up, granting him star chips. They can be spent to either improve his stats, such as his overall health, item slots, and so on, or be spent to recruit companions he comes across in the abyss. As an example, he already has access to my companion card. It allows him to manipulate the deck to his advantage, albeit only once. Who knows who he may come across down in the depths. Regardless, star chips hold the power to transport them to the hideout, which may unlock new features down the line. Anyways, I've talked for long enough. I'll send you along with Wolfie now. Best of luck.
Alright folks, we are back into the Abyss once again, now on level 2, which means the deck has been refilled up to 28 cards. The treasure deck has been updated, now including a lot more randomness and a couple of new items that are hidden in there, as well as a couple of more events having been shuffled into the deck now that they are relevant. Just to have a look at the deck today, we have a bunch, and this is a special card we'll show up in a bit. We have quite a lot of duels hiding around, but we also have a couple of new cards that should be shown off. We've got the Card Shop, which seems vaguely familiar to those that watched Season 1, as well as the Mowerk, which is also familiar to those that watched Season 1, which are now shuffled into the deck alongside everything else. We've also got our new rival for level 2. I can't escape this man, can I? When will I be free from the Acorion? Find out in the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Regardless though, we are going to have a look at this card because this is our first supporter card, which is Zero Yue, who has been a supporter since way before this show started. But thank you for subscribing to the Ko-Fi. Your supporter card has been flipped and added into the deck, and if we draw you, you're in charge. Regardless of that though, let's go ahead and shuffle the deck up real good and shuffle the treasure deck as well as the event deck. I won't really reveal any of these, you'll have to see them when they pop up. And we'll start with a fucking event, of course. Right, I may have accidentally zoomed the camera a little bit. Whoopsie daisy, we'll go for an event then. Oh my god! Can we stop drawing this fucking card? Why though? Good fucking lord. Okay. I mean, technically we are on the first act of the Abyss now. We could choose to do this. And if we do that, that's going to be 4 rounds against players of our Discord, which we might have a larger chance against. But I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird one, because then... I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is... I'm going to take the Lupine Weekly card. And at the end of the episode, we're going to have a Lupine Weekly roundup before we escape the Abyss. I'll basically leave it here, and you will know that at the end of the episode we'll have a roundup for how I did. Because this is the first thing we're doing in the level of the Abyss, and it feels kind of weird to just cut out of the Abyss immediately to go into the Lupine Weekly. So we'll go for another card. Huh. There are 5 of these in the deck, by the way. Fine. Should probably shuffle this first. Companion Swap. Well, you may change your active companion from one in your reserves, and if you do, this event can't be performed again until you visit to the Abyss. The thing is, we don't have an active companion, which we should actually have, which is something I forgot. Give me just 1 second, because we actually do have an active companion now. Okay, I return. I apologize for that, because yeah, technically, we actually do have an active companion. We have Tour Guide with us now. So Tour Guide lets us look at the top 5 cards of the adventure deck and rearrange them in any order, but we can only use it once per visit to the Abyss. I kind of forgot to do that. We should probably do that, but yeah, we don't have a second companion, so this will just be shuffled back into the deck, and so will this, because that is not a legal event. And let's actually just, let's use Tour Guide's ability. We may as well. So we'll look at the top 5 cards of the adventure deck, and we can stack them any way that we want. Well, that's certainly something. Look, I think the greatest thing we can do here is just do the escape at the bottom, then the shop, then the 3 ranked duels on top. I feel like that's going to be the best way we can kind of make use of Tour Guide's ability here, because that means we'll get the 3 ranked duels, we'll get to visit the shop, which is going to be interesting because we haven't actually been there yet, and then we get to escape, do the Lupine Weekly, and take all of our treasures with us. I think that's good. Now we know that what's coming, let's just go into a ranked duel, baby. So, for the first ranked duel of today, we're playing up against Fluffles, which is an interesting choice. I haven't seen Fluffles in a hot minute, but honestly, this deck is kind of scary for us because a fully consistent Fluffle core is able to do a lot of stuff. He's going to activate Toy Vendor, pitching himself an Imp Age Sabers in order to get himself the bear. Or sorry, not Sabers, it's Chain. Chain gets him the Fright for Fusion as well as Polymerization in hand. He's going to activate the Fluffle Bear, which is going to set him another Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is a once per turn though, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Fright for Fusion is going to activate. He's going to send 2 cards to get the Cruel Whale and then pass turn back to us. Our hand is looking kind of stacked, so we should be able to deal with this just fine. We'll go for the field spell off of our Genta. We then activate the field spell, and we activate it to banish the Genta and pitch the Rainbow. At this point, we draw the Harmonic Synchrofusion, which is very unfortunate because our normal summon in hand is now kind of dead. We do search ourselves a Grapha here, though, just so we can kind of pick back up and do the loop again, which is exactly what we're going to do. We go for the Rainbow, we pitch another Genta for the second field spell. We activate the second field spell, and we go right ahead, and we set ourselves a card, and we go for Thunderbird. I tricked you. We do manage to discard Brow here, which is perfect. Brow gets Ashed, which is probably the best possible thing that can happen here, because we can do card destruction. He activates Droplet, pitching both cards in hand, probably forgetting how card destruction works. As we draw 3 new cards, let me actually draw into some good ones. Grapha is going to pump the Whale here. Whale is going to activate the pitch the Edge of Sabers, and then promptly die. We'll go for summoning the Silva. We'll go for summoning the Grapha here as well, and then we'll activate Crimson Gaia. Crimson Gaia is going to search as a card, and we're going to search out Soul Resonator. Surprisingly how often this card comes up. We'll activate Soul Resonator. Soul Resonator is going to search the Lava 4 Fiend. We'll search since a Snow for a following turn. At this point, our opponent immediately surrenders, realizing we have enough damage on board to just kill him, even though we could probably combo onwards. For duel number 2 in the match, yeah, we finally have a match duel. Wow, kind of surprising. We have sided for going second, and unfortunately, he makes us go first, and we have one play, and that is the Earthbound Immortal, and we go for the Stone Sweeper. This is probably the worst play we'll ever have, but we go into Geoservant Pass, because honestly, we don't have another choice. Unfortunately for us, our opponent has drawn a Mighty God hand for Fluffles here, managing to summon the dog in order to search the penguin. He's going to activate the bear to set the Toy Vendor. Activating the Toy Vendor in order to draw a card and reveal if it's a Fluffle or not, he pitches the wings. He gets a dog and special summons the penguin. That is crazily good. He's going to activate the wings, targeting the bear. It's going to get sent. He's going to pitch the Toy Vendor to draw an additional card, and then Toy Vendor to search out a card. That is a +3, pretty much. He activates another Toy Vendor, goes for the Toy Vendor again, pitching another pair of wings, and gets himself a Patchwork, which unfortunately doesn't do anything for him. He goes for the Penguin Effect. Penguin Effect will special summon the dog. That will special summon Abyss Dweller, which we will attempt to pop with Gremlin, which he chains Forbidden Droplet to, but that does get rid of Toy Vendor, I suppose, so that is a pretty cool play. Toy Vendor's going to search, Abyss Dweller is going to activate, not that it does anything during his turn, but that's fine. He's going to go for the bear. He's then going to link off for Nightmare Phoenix, which is surprisingly interesting, and he decides to pop the Evenly Matched, which I guess it's fine. He's going to go for the Fright for Tiger. Fright for Tiger uses 2 materials, so he's going to pop the board here, and then he's going to go to battle and just punch us in the face for a little bit of damage. It's not unbeatable, but it will take a very good card draw for us to be able to do anything here. Card Destruction might just be that card. We activate the Card Destruction, hoping to draw on anything here as we pitch the Snow. We get ourselves a Bow, or Brow, the Genta. Yes, we search Genta, that's all you need to know here, because, hey, we can activate Genta to search the second field spell. This is essentially the only thing we can really do, and we gotta pray for a good one. We go for the field spell, and we decide to activate the field spell, banishing the Genta, pitching the Brow. Brow draws us a card, which is Soul Resonator. Now, unfortunately for us, we just have to kind of pop off here. We decide to go for the Geo Gremlin targeting the Tiger, which he chooses to destroy, which... interesting once again. We get the Crimson Gaia. Crimson Gaia is able to search as a card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend, and we're going to do exactly that. And we're going to get back the Vision Resonator. Here, we're going to activate the Mothman, unfortunately pitching the Vision Resonator because I had a plan for him, but that's fine. We go for the Soul Resonator. Soul Resonator is going to search out a Genta. Yeah, you're not crazy. I did just search another Genta because we're going to Field Spell again. We are going to attempt to deal as much damage as possible here, and I don't think we can kill, but we're at the very least going to put him in a position where he has to do something. We banish the Gremlin. We pitch the Silva. Silva gets summoned. We get a Snow to our hand if only we could use it. We go for a Scarred Red Dragon Archfiend off of that just to get something on the board. We deal a chunk of damage, and then we immediately get evenly matched. Damn it. I decide to get rid of the field spell here, hoping that he can't actually out a 3k Bungus, but unfortunately for us, he draws the best card in the whole goddamn deck. He draws into Scythe. Without that Scythe, I don't know he'd be able what he's about to do, but he's going to activate the bear to search out the last toy vendor in the deck. He's then going to activate the toy vendor, reveal the top card. He's going to pitch the Scythe. The top card is a Lightning Storm, so it doesn't do anything, but he has the Fluffle Wings. Wings is going to send the bear, which is going to draw a card, then send to the toy vendor, which is going to search him another card, and now he gets an Ash Blossom as well as everything else, and then he passes turn. We draw into an evenly match, which is just awful. He's going to fuse here into the Cruel Whale. Cruel Whale is going to pop a card, which is going to pop the Scarred Red Dragon Archfiend. We're both going to end up protecting a card here, which I find funny. Us using Soul Resonator and him using the Scythe. But at this point, it's the only thing we can do, as he has to go to battle here. He has to power up his dude by pitching a fusion monster. Scarred is going to die, and we're going to use Scarred's effect to summon the original RDA. If we can get a level 2 tuner here, we're pretty good. We do not. We draw into Harmonic Synchrofusion, which is terrible. We have to go into battle here to force him to pitch another card, hoping that that's enough. And then just evenly and hope he gets rid of something. He gets rid of the face down, which is probably obvious. We then have to set both of our cards and just hope for the best. If we had any way of pitching Grapha here, we probably would have won the game, because guess what our next draw is? Our next draw is Grapha. If we would have kept the field spell, we most likely would have been alive and might have taken this game, but unfortunately, we're going to have to scoop it up because we cannot sustain that long. Alright, for the last duel against Fluffle, we do actually draw into Deck Devastation Virus, which is absolutely insane against this deck if we can manage to get it out, because with our current hand, it's not looking too good. We're going to have to do a Dark World Dealings here, and we're going to get ourselves a card draw, but so is our opponent, thanks to Toy Vendor. Very unfortunate. We're going to go ahead and we're going to draw a card. It's going to be Skill Drain. We're going to summon the Groundkeeper, which is going to get hit with the Impermanence, and that was our only play in this hand. Yikes. We're just going to set both cards anyway and pass turn. Hope our opponent doesn't get anything shenanigans. See, that is a very stacked hand. He's going to go straight to battle. He's just going to evenly us, and we're just going to banish 2 and hope for the best. He goes for the dog. On the summon of dog, we're just going to Skill Drain and hope that we can draw into any Dark World in the known universe, and that's basically all we can do. He sets himself a Forbidden Droplet and passes turn back to us. We draw into a Mothman. We're going to activate the Mothman, which pitches the Mothman, unfortunately, to force us to draw a card and pitch a card. At this point, we have to pitch the other Rainbow. There's no use for that right now. He gets another Toy Vendor off of the draw to search for another bear. Wow. We got ourselves Danger Bigfoot, which we successfully actually hit onto the board, and we draw ourselves a Stone Sweeper. The only thing we can do here is attack in, but unfortunately, of course, it is a droplet, meaning our Bigfoot is destroyed. He gets a chain to search himself into a Fright for Fusion Patchwork. And at this point, I'm starting to realize that our resource game is just nothing to Fluffles. Fluffles also play fairly well under Skill Drain. There's not really much we can do about that, because the second they have access to a fusion, they're just going to have big bunguses anyway. We needed to really, really draw into a Dark World combo here of some sort, but unfortunately, we just could not find it, even though our number of Dark Worlds haven't really gone down all that much. Our opponent is just going to keep comboing now that they find another toy vendor. They get themselves the chain as well to search for the Fright for Fusion, and at this point, you're probably starting to see the writing on the wall for this game. Bear is going to be summoned. He's just going to punch us for about 3k damage, which is questionable considering his cards. He then sets a card to pass us back to us, and we draw the Rainbow. We have literally no way of getting this Rainbow out on the field, so we're just going to go for the Soul Resonator, or sorry, the Vision Resonator, and we just have to set the Vision Raider past turn, because there's nothing else we can do. He activates the Toy Vendor, pitches a card, reveals the Scythe, which doesn't actually do anything, but that doesn't matter because he has access to Fright for Fusion. Fright for Fusion is going to summon the Whale. Whale is going to pop our card, or not even pop our card. He doesn't even have to. He can't, but whatever. We take a loss to Fluffle. Their resource game is super, super good. If we would have been able to go into any of the Dark Worlds, we may have stood a chance here, but unfortunately, the hand just did not allow for it. You know, honestly, the worst part about that duel is that felt winnable. If we were able to get into any Dark World that actually did anything, or we were able to activate, Deck Devastation Virus in Game 3. I think we could have had that. But yeah, don't underestimate Fluffles. They do have potential. That does mean, unfortunately, we are going to have to take some damage. So let's just spin the dice a couple of times. And we will take 2 points of damage. We'll go down to 8, and we will proceed. This, of course, will be shuffled back into the deck. But since we stacked the deck, it'll go at the bottom for now. Alright, well, we've got another rank duel. We already know it's there. Let's head on in. Alright, for duel number 2, we're playing up against Warpath, who is clearly on stun. Yikes. We are going to go for the Gate of the Dark World here, as we are lucky enough to go first against the stun deck, thank God. We're going to go ahead and we're going to activate the field spell. We're going to activate the field spell, banishing the Genta, throwing Brow into the graveyard, drawing ourselves a card, and getting a Genta. Whoop-dee-doo. There we go, we draw ourselves in a session. We're going to go for the Mothman, which is, or sorry, the Nessie pitching the Mothman. Mothman's going to draw a card to let us discard a card, which is going to discard Snow. Discarding Snow here, we are going to search for the best card in the deck, our Garatha Boy, of course, and now that we realize he pitches a Banisher, I already know that he's playing Stun, so we're going to do everything in our power to get ourselves a pop just in case. He also has Mausoleum, which I find to be the most interesting thing ever. He goes for the Stone Sweeper. We get ourselves the Harmonic Synchrofusion into Red Rising Dragon and Earthbound Immortal Geokraken. Geokraken is going to search us out a field spell, and the only reason we went into Red Rising here is because we have no reason to really go into Gremlina. At this point, we are just going to set Skeldrin, set a face down, and at this point he draws into his funny card, and then immediately leaves the game. Now, in reality here, I think he actually stood a fair chance of what's going on, considering he has Mausoleum. When he activates Mausoleum, I'm going to have to get rid of that card immediately, because these guys are still fairly big. Even so, though, we got a Geokraken here that is 3100 that none of his monsters can get over without the Mirror Shield, and I do have a negate for the Mirror Shield, unless he specifically summons Majesty's Fiend. If he does summon Majesty's Fiend, I'm kinda fucked. Like, legitimately, I think I would have just lost the game if he summoned it, but he never did. I don't know what else to say, really. He decided to just leave the game, so we get a free win, I guess. Right, so my best guess as to what actually happened here was the man was playing Stunned because we saw him discard a Banisher, realizing that I had enough dudes to just get through whatever stun he had, and then he just left. I don't know, but again, with the rules of the series, we're just gonna have to count that as a win, so away this goes. And a treasure is ours. It's a pile of coins. We get a lot of piles of coins here, I feel. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Let's go for the next rank duel. Screw it, why not? Alright, for game number 3 today, we're playing up against possibly the worst matchup of all time for us, Exosister. He activates Dimension Shift to the first thing he does, which just forces us to end our turn, because our hand was actually really, really good had we not been hit by a Dim Shifter. He is going to immediately go do Exosister things, summoning Caspatel searching Martha special summoning 2 Exosisters and getting himself the other one. You've probably seen Exosisters before, I'll be honest. Summons Elis, he uses both of them to go into Michaelis. Michaelis is going to search a spell or trap. He's going to search whatever the thing is, I keep forgetting the name, it's Returnia. He's going to use both of them to go into Magnifica. Magnifica is going to punch us for a grand total of a lot of damage. And then pass turn back to us after activating Pax to search the other trap card. And now, oh sorry, he doesn't even search the trap card, he searches Arment, which is a rare card for them to play these days. But yeah, he sets Arments, he sets Returnia, and we just have to live with it. Our hand is really good. We're going to activate the Dark World Dealings here, which is going to pitch the Silva. Well, not the Silva, the Snow. Snow here can search us anything, and we are forced to search out Genta, because he does have a Banish, and we kind of have to try playing around the Banish. We activate the Genta to search the field spell, faking that we don't have a second one in hand and hoping he falls for it. Which he does. He is going to actually just immediately special summon as well, so he's going to activate, he's just going to fire all the buttons. Which I suppose makes sense. He gets rid of the Gates of the Dark World, and then he's going to summon Michaelis, which gives him another quick play Banish. At this point, we do have to go for our Servant, hoping that he takes the bait of banishing this guy instead of banishing our actual card. Unfortunately for us, his last card in hand is a Ghost Bell, which actually stopped Servant, because Groundkeeper could summon from the graveyard, and therefore we are fucked. No matter what we do here, when we activate the field spell, he is going to Michaelis the field spell, and that is just going to cause us to lose the game, so we scoop it up and we go to game number 2. Game number 2 is looking much, much better, because now we get to go first. We're going to pitch our Stonekeeper here. Or sorry, I never remember the name. Stone Sweeper, that's it, to get Soul Resonator. We're betting it all on Soul Resonator, searching for a Genta, which we actually hit, which is great. At this point, we're going to activate Genta. We're going to search a field spell, and this also allows us to summon our Big Bungus. We're going to activate the Gates of the Dark World. We're going to activate the effective Gates of the Dark World to banish the Genta, as well as throw the Rainbow. We draw ourselves a Brow, which is fair enough. We're going to draw ourselves the Grapha off the top. In doing so, we're going to special summon the second Stone Sweeper. We're going to return Genta to hand to special summon Rainbow to try and bait out a Nibiru if there is one. There isn't one, thankfully. We get ourselves the second field spell, activating the second field spell, and at this point, we're going to have some fun. We're going to banish the Stone Sweeper, pitch the Brown, drawing us an additional card, which is Deck Dev Virus. We're going to go into Scarlet, we're going to summon the Synchron Resonator, and we're going to go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. Resonator is going to bring back Soul to our hand, but it doesn't matter, because the only card we need here is Deck Dev. On his draw step, we immediately fire the Deck Devastation Virus, get rid of our Rainbow, and his entire hand goes bye-bye. At this point, he realizes immediately that no matter what he does here, he just straight up loses the game and scoops it up as we go to Game 3. Deck Dev Virus finally comes in handy in one of these games, man. Alright, the all-important game number 3 against Exosisters, and their hand is kind of bricked up, which is good for us. He does set 2, pass turn back to us, and we are fairly well off. He activates Vadis, which is going to be annoying, so we have to play around not summoning from the graveyard. Luckily for us, we don't really have to. We got a Dark World Dealings, which he doesn't Ash, which is kind of nice, I suppose. We do go for the Grapha here. He pitches the Ash, and he's going to activate Droll and Lockbird. This is a very, very tough fight for us now, but we do get rid of the Solemn Judgment. We activate the Archives, we activate the Bigfoot, hoping to not pitch Genta. Fuck, we pitched Genta, and we're just going to end phase, let his Exosisters be shuffled back into the deck, and end our turn. He does have 2 Sakitamas here, and Sakitama is a very, very scary card for us because he can just summon the other one and make any Exosister. He makes Caspatel. Caspatel is obviously going to search the Martha. Martha's going to special summon themselves and make Michaelis. Michaelis is going to search any spell or trap that he wants, and he's going to punch us with Magnificent for 58. It's almost like Exosister has existed for a fairly long time now, and people know how to do it. He also gets himself Returnia, which makes sense as he goes into the Magnifica High. It's almost like I played this duel. He punches her for 5,800, which is going to put us down to 24, unfortunately, and in the second main phase, he's going to set 2 and get rid of our Archives, which was the one card we needed to really pop off here. The Genta would have helped a lot, but I digress. We draw ourselves a Session. That's really good. We'll activate a Session. He's going to chain Magnifica. He's going to return. Instead of banishing the Grapha from the graveyard, which would have probably won him the game, we are just going to summon Big Grapha. He is going to activate his Returnia here to banish the Accession, which is really annoying, but yeah, fair enough, I suppose. He's also going to banish a card we control, obviously, which is going to be the Big Grapha, but we don't really care. Or, well, we don't have the choice to care. Off of the Big Grapha, we'll of course summon the smaller Grapha to pitch the Brown to draw ourselves another card. We get Soul Resonator, which is pretty good. We go for the Genta to get ourselves the field spell just to be bigger than most of the cards he could possibly summon, so we go ahead and we do that. We go Gates of the Dark World, we summon the Soul Resonator. Soul Resonator is going to be able to search anything, is going to activate the effect to banish the Gates, and we're just going to get ourselves another Genta to search for another Gates. That's literally all we can do. We're going to activate it now while he knows he doesn't have any hand traps, so we can get the Gates to our hand, and then the only thing we can really do is punch face. Alright, so we punch a little face here, and we end the turn hoping he doesn't draw into anything useful. He draws himself Different Dimension Ground, which banishes cards for the turn, which is annoying for us, but not a deal destroyer. He activates it, we simply choose to do nothing but punch him in the face for a good chunk of 3,200 damage, and pass the turn back, now forcing him to find a card to win the game, or end it here. He draws into Cosmic Cyclone, which doesn't do anything, and we actually somehow manage to take down one of the hardest archetypes for us to beat. That's awesome. Okay, honestly, I expected the worst when seeing Exosister. Exosister is incredibly hard for us because it basically shuts down half of the things that we want to do in the whole freaking deck. But you know what? He bricked in Game 3. Game 2 was just 1 card activation. That's fine. So we've officially beat our first official ranked duel where we've actually sided, which means we actually get 2 treasures. If we 2-0 them, we get 3 of them. But we only get 2 treasures this time. So we'll get yourself, a sack of coins. That is 1d$10. That's really good. And a pouch of coins, which is 1d8. We are starting to see some higher money values now, which is really, really nice. We already know what's coming up next, and it is the shop. We haven't actually been to the shop yet, and honestly, I don't think I want to spend any money in it. What the shop actually is, since we won't be going to it this episode, is we can buy ourselves item cards. Item cards are basically bonuses and essential thingamabobs to let us do... like, it could be things like reducing damage, it could be stuff like letting us see the deck ahead of time. There's just a lot of, like, useful items, but we're also on $0, and I do not want to use the star chips here quite yet. So I think we're actually just going to return the shop to the bottom of the deck for now, and we will visit Murchie another time. Now we know the last card on the top there is an escape, and we could just simply choose to take our winnings and go do the Lupine Weekly, which I think is what we're going to do. We're just going to take the escape, and we'll roll for our slightly larger amount of dollars today, hopefully, I guess. And then we'll see what we do with the Lupine. Yes, I've been messing around with the dice a little bit. I've been trying to see if there's a difference between just like clicking and rolling them and actually shaking them around, and there appears to be, although it is very slight. So we'll just do the way that we always have, and we'll make it rotate a lot. And there we go, we got $7 for the pouch. I'm just gonna click this a lot to make it spin a little bit. Look at the shadow, let's go. $7 there, that's 14, and then the last little spin here, I'm just clicking it a bunch. There we go. For $1. Well, that is $15, I suppose, that we're heading out of this abyss with, and we also have the Lupine Weekly to do, so I suppose we will just shove these to the side, and we'll see how we do in the Lupine, because technically now we are safe, and again, the only reason we did it this way today is, hey, that was 1, there you go. The only reason we really did it like this today is because it was the start of the episode, and I felt kind of bad just not doing anything and then just doing the Lupine, so you know what? We'll do the Lupine. We'll see how it goes. But that will be all for this episode. As we're heading out of the abyss once more, let's do the roundup. This week we had ourselves 3 duels, going 2 and 1, now ending on an overall record of 8 and 2, meaning we have an 80% win rate so far, which is way higher than I thought it'd ever be. In addition to that, of course, we've earned ourselves $15 from this visit to the Abyss, which we will spend on opening to next week's episode, where we will be doing the Lupine Weekly, which will probably take the entire episode, in all fairness. So, you know, if you'd like to come compete against me, then do join the Discord for next week's event, because apparently I'm going to be there. As always, though, if you enjoyed the episode, do remember to leave a like, click the subscribe button, because you know what? We need more of those. If you'd like to support me and get your own supporter card, check me out on Ko-Fi with the link in the description. And as always, do remember to stay safe out there.